Shark Tank is a show entirely dedicated to capitalism. The whole thing is about people with money looking to make more money by putting in their own money. Yep, that's a lot of dough. With 13 seasons in total, it brought in some major investors, or as they're called, sharks in the show. In this video, we'll be sharing some of the richest sharks to ever appear on Shark Tank. Starting off with the biggest shark of them all. If you're a fan of the show, you're no stranger to Mark Cuban. He's one of the regular sharks on the show ever since he first appeared in season 2. From the regular sharks, he's also the richest one and only billionaire there is. With a net point of about $4.7 billion, Mark is definitely the biggest shark that's every business owner tries to bag. Even though he's among the 1% now, Mark had very humble beginnings. He belongs to a working class family and actually got interested in running his own business at the age of 12. Wanting to buy a pricey pair of basketball sneakers, he decided to sell garbage bags. Later on, he made money trading stamps and coins. Then he never looked back. He went on to Indiana University and got a degree in management. From there, the young man joined Mellon Bank and worked on machines and networking. But what really made him launch into a life of luxury is when he made billions investing in several multimedia platforms. He's even sold his own streaming service, Broadcast.com, to Yahoo for about $5.7 million. With all this success under his belt, you might think that he's also the bloodthirsty shark on the show. Well, not quite. He's actually one of the nicer and more supportive ones. That doesn't mean he says yes to every business investment. So far, he's only invested in about 100 businesses on the show. Next up, we have Mr. Wonderful. We're of course talking about the Canadian businessman Kevin O'Leary, who earned the title Mr. Wonderful on the first season of Shark Tank. Apparently, he made an offer of 51% equity position for a music publishing business, to which his co-star Barbara responded, "Well, aren't you Mr. Wonderful?" Since then, he's been making dinner reservations with the name Mr. Wonderful instead. Well, what's Mr. Wonderful's story? Having a net worth of about $400 million, he's the second richest regular shark on the show. He learned all of the investing techniques from his late mother, who was a small business executive and an investor as well. One of those techniques includes saving 1/3 of all of his earnings. He also founded a company called SoftKey Software Products in 1986, which he eventually sold to the toy company Mattel in 1999. Later on, he became a host on a number of business talk shows and eventually landed on Shark Tank. He's one of the cutthroat sharks on the show. When he sees a good investment, he's definitely going for it, but believes everyone is replaceable in this world. Following up with Robert Herjavec. Robert's another OG from this show who's been a regular shark since season 1. Much like Mr. Wonderful, he also had a TV career before Shark Tank. He appeared on Dragon's Den, which is a Canadian version of this business investment show. He's gathered an estimated net worth of about $200 million. How did he make so much money? Well, currently he's the owner of a big cybersecurity company in Canada called the Herjavec Group. His journey began in the Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia, which is where he was born and raised. When he was 8 years old, his family immigrated to Canada. He worked a number of odd jobs to support his family. As he grew older, strangely enough, he graduated from the University of Toronto with a degree in English literature. But in 1990, he took a huge detour and ended up founding an internet software security company called Brack Systems. And well, the rest, as they say, is history. On Shark Tank, he's made about 57 deals from the 511 deals presented to him so far. Adding all of those investment marks, a total of $16 million. He's also a difficult shark to please. Moving on to the female sharks. The first woman to appear on this list is none other than Sarah Blakely, the founder and owner of Spanx Clothing Company. Yes, Sarah is the masterful mind behind the famous legwear brand for women, which has pretty much transformed their lives. Sarah's efforts and cunning ideas behind the brand led to a lot of fame and fortune. Even Oprah Winfrey named Spanx one of her favorite items in the whole world. That's high praise indeed. Right now, Spanx doesn't only make leggings, but also makes undergarments, swimwear, and maternity wear. It sells in about 50 countries around the world. Before all of this happened, Sarah dipped her feet into some odd jobs. She worked at Walt Disney World in Orlando for 3 months. She also tried her hand at stand-up comedy at some point. It was when she was working as a door-to-door salesman that she realized how uncomfortable it was to wear pantyhose in the hot climate of Florida. That's how she got the idea to develop Spanx. Apart from being a successful businesswoman, she's also led several charities such as the Sarah Blakely Foundation, where she helps women get an education and other sorts of training. In 2012, she made Times Magazine on their 100 most influential people list. And in 2022, Blakely was 23rd on the Forbes list of the most successful self-made women. She has a net worth of about $1 billion now, and has shown in season 9 and 10 of Shark Tank. Up next, we have Lori Grainer. Another regular shark from season 4, Lori has made her name as the queen of QVC because of how effective give her advice was on the American Shopping Channel. It is because of her fame on QVC that she got a permanent position on Shark Tank. Lori started out as an ordinary jewelry seller, but what really made her stand out is this special jewelry organizer she created and patented in 1996. It became an instant hit when it was featured on the Home Shopping Network. From there, she appeared on QVC quite a lot and had her own show called Clever and Unique Creations. What happened in it is pretty self-explanatory. She went around different stores selling strange items, and that show's also become one of the most long-running shows on the network. Since then, Lori continues to create and patent her own products. She's made about 500 items and is an expert on owning intellectual property. With all of this, she has a net worth of about $150 million. That's lesser than her counterparts, but doesn't mean she doesn't have a big heart when she comes to investing in the show. She's made about 61 deals from the total of 300 pitches she's gotten yet. With all of these investments, she's earned a pretty high investment percentage, 20% to be exact. Well, we're certainly glad to have a friendlier shark on the show. Lori can also be seen in the Shark Tank spin-off show called Beyond the Tank. Finally, we have one of the richest sharks to appear on the show. Richard Branson isn't a regular shark, but he appeared as a guest on one episode in season 9, but he definitely had to show up on this list because he's one of the richest investors. For those of you living under a rock, Richard Branson's a British billionaire who owns Virgin Group, which is about 400 different companies under it. Richard had a decent childhood, but was consistently left behind in his academics because of his dyslexia and ADHD. He got his inspiration to be a businessman from his mother, who sold wooden tissue boxes and waste paper bins. Because of his lack of clarity over what he wanted to do with his life, he ended up becoming a squatter, moving from one place to another. In 1966, he launched a magazine that ended up becoming his true calling. The magazine helped him advertise many popular albums and get in touch with popular artists like Mick Jagger and R.D. Lang. From there, he opened his record shop, and then finally in the 1970s, he launched his record label called Virgin Records. His business has since then expanded and included other ventures as well, like airlines, spaceflight, and media creation. He has an estimated net worth of about $4.1 billion. His time on the show wasn't as productive as his entire career as a businessman, though. He got into a major fight with Mark Cuban because of some other off-screen conflicts. This resulted in Richard throwing a glass of water at Cuban and getting banned from the show. But during his short time on the show, he invested in about 3 different pitches. Well, that's a wrap for this video. Who's your favorite shark on Shark Tank? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.